300 guests, pink and blue balloons. Your sister grabs the mic and smiles straight at you. At least one of us can keep a baby. Then the knife slices the cake, and everything that pours out is black. Pure mourning black. What happens next will make you gasp, and the person who planned it has been holding your hand through every loss. Stay until the end. I never thought the happiest day of my sister's life would become the moment I finally saw her true colors. My name is Emma, and this is the story of how one black cake changed everything. The backyard was a picture-perfect scene straight out of a magazine. Pink and blue balloons swaying gently in the warm breeze, tables laden with elegant snacks, and 300 guests milling about with excited chatter. But for me, every laugh felt like a dagger twisting deeper into a wound that refused to close. Lauren had always been the golden child, prettier, married first, house first, and now carrying the baby that would arrive on time. When I announced my first pregnancy before her, she gave me that condescending little smile and said, "Well, some of us are meant to be mothers, and some are meant to be the fun aunts." After my first miscarriage at 11 weeks, she posted the news on Facebook before I could even tell my boss. The sympathy card she brought me? "Everything happens for a reason." Those 6 words still burn in my memory like acid. The third miscarriage nearly killed me, literally. I woke up in the ICU after emergency surgery, hemorrhaging, tubes everywhere, my body betraying me for the last time. That's when Marie entered my life. As my night nurse, she sat beside my bed in the dim glow of the monitors, holding my shaking hand while I sobbed so hard I couldn't breathe. "Grief shows people's true colors," she whispered one night, adjusting my IV with gentle fingers. "And some colors are pitch black." While Lauren spent months planning her flawless gender reveal, sending me daily updates that felt like tiny knives, "Sorry you won't have a +1. The cake is going to be stunning, just like my wedding cake, remember?" Marie was the one wiping blood from my legs, calling my husband David when I was too sedated to speak, and telling me I wasn't failing. My body just needed time. 3 days before the party, I ran into Marie at the grocery store. She was loading cart after cart with fondant and black food coloring, pounds of it. "Big order?" I asked, forcing a smile even though the baby food aisle made my throat close. "The Whitman gender reveal," she answered casually. Then her face changed when she realized it was my sister Lauren's event. She asked exactly what time the cake would be cut, her eyes sharp. "Just baker's curiosity," she said with a small smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I should have known then. The day of the reveal dawned bright and cruelly perfect, because of course it did. Lauren's life was Instagram perfect. I arrived early as ordered to help set up. Lauren sat like royalty in the special chair her husband Mark had carried out for her, directing everyone while I arranged centerpieces with trembling hands. "Emma, those ribbons are crooked," she called out. "I know you're probably distracted by your little situation, but try to focus. This is important." My husband David squeezed my hand so hard it hurt. "We can leave right now," he whispered. "Say you're sick." I almost laughed. "I am sick," I whispered back. "Sick of her. But Mom's watching." Our mother hovered around Lauren like she was the Virgin Mary herself, shooting me warning glances that screamed, "Don't you dare ruin this." As guests arrived, Lauren made sure to greet every single one with some version of the same line. "Emma's here too. She's doing better after her little situation." The way she said situation made my lost babies sound like a bad haircut. By 2:30, the crowd was fully assembled. The photographer was in position, the videographer rolling, and the cake sat on its special table under a pristine white box. Lauren grabbed the microphone from the DJ. My stomach dropped. Lauren with a mic was never good news. "Before we cut the cake," she announced, her voice dripping that fake sweet tone I knew too well, "I want to say something. As many of you know, this journey to motherhood hasn't been easy for everyone in our family." She looked directly at me. "But I want Emma to know that just because some of us are blessed with the ability to carry children doesn't mean we love her any less. In fact, I think my fertility is probably enough for both of us. At least one of us can keep a baby, right?" The silence that followed was deafening. 300 pairs of eyes turned to me, pitying, waiting. David started to stand, but I grabbed his arm. I forced my voice steady, even though ice ran through every word. "You're right, Lauren. At least one of us can." She beamed, completely missing the frost in my tone. "So let's find out if this little miracle is a boy or a girl." The white box was lifted with theatrical ceremony. The 4-tier cake underneath was breathtaking. White fondant roses, delicate golden accents. The photographer circled like a shark. Lauren and Mark posed with the knife. "On 3, Lauren squealed. 1, 2, 3. They pushed the blade in. Lauren kept talking the whole time. "Oh my God, I can't wait. It's going to be pink. I just know it. I've been dreaming of pink." The knife came out. The slice was removed, and the entire backyard went still. No pink, no blue, just black. Pure, matte black cake with black frosting between every layer. Black as the nights I'd spent bargaining with a god I no longer believed in. Black as the hole in my chest where 3 babies should have been. Lauren laughed nervously. "Must be the wrong tier. Sometimes bakers put the color in different layers." They cut the 2nd tier. Black. 3rd tier. Black. 4th tier. Black as midnight. The crowd began to murmur. Someone whispered, "Is this a joke?" Lauren's face flushed crimson. "This is ruined! Call the bakery right now!" But before anyone could dial, a figure stepped forward from the very back of the crowd, calm, professional, still wearing her baker's apron. It was Marie. "Actually," she said, her voice clear and steady enough to cut through every whisper, "the cake is exactly as ordered." "Actually," Marie repeated, stepping fully into the sunlight so everyone could see her clearly, "the cake is exactly as ordered." Lauren's laugh died in her throat. "What are you talking about? I ordered pink or blue." Marie lifted her phone, calm as if she were reading a patient chart. "You wrote, and I quote from your email, 'A cake that shows everyone exactly what this day means.' You approved artistic interpretation and baker's creative license to save on the design consultation fee. You said, and I have the screenshot right here, 'This reveal will show everyone the truth about our family.' And my personal favorite," she paused, letting the words land like stones, "I want Emma to never forget this moment." The backyard felt like it had stopped breathing. Lauren's face drained of color, then flooded red. "That's not what I meant! You twisted my words!" Marie didn't flinch. "No, Lauren. I took them at face value. Because black is the color of mourning. Black is what Emma has carried inside her for 3 lost babies while you planned parties and posted ultrasound selfies." Black is the void left behind when someone who calls herself family announces your miscarriage on social media before you can even grieve in private. Black is the compassion you never showed your own sister. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones were already up, recording. Someone in the back muttered, "Oh my God." Lauren spun toward Mark. "Do something!" But Marie wasn't finished. She turned to face the stunned guests, her voice steady and carrying. 3 times Emma hemorrhaged. 3 times she woke up in the ICU, wondering why her body wouldn't let her keep the children she wanted so badly. And 3 times I held her hand while she cried so hard she couldn't speak. I cleaned her blood, called her husband, listened to her beg a God she wasn't even sure existed anymore to give her just one chance. She looked straight at Lauren again. "You were posting gender reveal mood boards while your sister was fighting for her life. So yes, this cake is black, because some grief doesn't come in pastel colors." Lauren shrieked, "This is my party! You ruined everything!" Marie's expression softened for the first time, not toward Lauren, but toward me. She met my eyes across the sea of shocked faces and gave the smallest nod, the kind only someone who's seen you at your lowest would understand. "Oh," Marie added, almost casually, "and since you seem confused about the gender, it's a girl. Congratulations, Lauren. May she grow up to be nothing like her mother." The backyard erupted, guests whispering furiously, phones flashing, Lauren screaming at Mark to call the police or something. My mother swayed and sank into a lawn chair, hand pressed to her chest like she might faint. A few people actually clapped, quiet, hesitant, but real. David stood up then, tall and quiet and furious in that controlled way only he can manage. He stepped between Marie and Lauren, who looked ready to lunge. "I think we're done here," he said, voice low but carrying. He took my hand. "Emma?" I nodded once. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else, but I walked. Past the pink and blue balloons now looking garish and cheap. Past the centerpieces I'd spent the morning arranging with shaking fingers. Past the stares and the murmurs and the one aunt who whispered, "Good for her." Marie fell into step beside us without a word. At the car, she hugged me so tightly I could feel her heartbeat against mine. "How?" I managed to ask through the lump in my throat. She smiled, small, tired, triumphant. "I make most of the cakes for the hospital staff parties. Lauren never asked which hospital I worked at when she found my Instagram and hired me. She just loved the roses. I was going to make her stupid pink cake until I kept seeing you in that hospital bed, apologizing for crying too loud while she posted about her blessing. You deserved better." "She'll probably sue you," I said. "Let her try." Marie patted her phone. "I have every single email. She signed off on everything. She wanted to save money. She got exactly what she paid for." David pulled Marie into a quick, fierce hug. "Thank you," he said, voice rough, "for seeing her, for caring." "Nurses don't just heal physical wounds," Marie answered softly. "Some scars need a different kind of medicine." We drove away to the sound of Lauren sobbing in the distance. "She ruined everything! This was supposed to be perfect!" The video hit the internet within hours. Someone had captured the whole thing. The speech, the black layers, Marie stepping forward like an avenging angel in an apron. The caption read, "Sister announces miscarriage at gender reveal. Baker serves karma cake." It went viral overnight. My phone exploded with messages, family scolding me, strangers sending heart emojis, distant cousins suddenly remembering my name. But the one that mattered came a week later from my mother, a simple text. I didn't know she said those things to you. I didn't know about all of it. I'm sorry. It wasn't enough to erase years of favoritism, but it was the first crack in the wall she'd built around Lauren. A start. 3 months later, Lauren gave birth to a healthy baby girl. They named her Grace. I didn't visit the hospital. I didn't send flowers. I sent one small card, white envelope, no frills. Inside, a single line written in my own careful handwriting. May she know more grace than her mother ever showed. No signature, no love. Just the truth hanging there between us like smoke. We don't speak anymore. Family gatherings split down the middle like a fault line. She gets Thanksgiving with the big turkey and the loud toasts. I get Christmas with the quiet lights and the people who actually ask how I'm doing. It's cleaner this way. No forced smiles across the table. No pretending the scar isn't there. The fallout from the gender reveal never really died down. The video stayed viral for weeks. People stitching reaction videos, therapists breaking down narcissistic family dynamics, random strangers DMing me screenshots of Lauren's now private Instagram with captions like, "Justice served." I muted most of it. The noise wasn't healing. It was just louder grief. But Marie stayed. We started meeting for coffee once a month at the little cafe near the hospital. Neutral ground, no balloons, no microphones. She'd show up in scrubs or with flour still dusting her sleeves, always asking the same 2 questions first. How's your body feeling? And how's your heart? I told her things I couldn't tell anyone else. About the nights I still woke up reaching for a baby that wasn't there. About the guilt that crept in when I saw other people's happy pregnancy announcements. About how sometimes I hated myself for still loving Lauren, even after everything. Marie never judged. She just listened, the same way she had in the ICU. Quiet, present, unflinching. Last month she held my hand again. Not in a hospital bed this time, but in an exam room with soft gray walls and a kind ultrasound tech who smiled instead of pitying. The wand moved. A whoosh of sound filled the room, fast, steady, alive. A heartbeat, 12 weeks strong. I started crying before I even realized the tears were coming. Marie squeezed my fingers so hard it hurt in the best way. When the tech left to print pictures, I turned to her and whispered, "If it's a girl, I'm naming her after you." Marie laughed, eyes shining. "And if it's a boy?" "Still naming him after you. Marion works for boys, too." She laughed harder, then cried, then hugged me until I could barely breathe through the happy ache in my chest. We haven't decided on a gender reveal yet. If we do one, it'll be small. Backyard, maybe 10 people max. Just David, Marie, a couple of close friends who showed up when the world felt black. No microphones, no 300 staring eyes, no speeches weaponizing pain. The cake, if there is one, will be yellow, my favorite color. Bright, warm, unapologetic. Yellow regardless of pink or blue, because the moment isn't about the color inside the layers. It's about the people who stayed when everything else turned dark. Some reveals aren't for the world to watch. They're for the ones who held your hand through the nights you thought you'd never see color again. And sometimes, just sometimes, they're for the baker who looked at your grief and decided to frost it with justice, one perfect black rose at a time.